how we do this. We simply do it. We use a short sentence that is pointing to this center, and we go there. Rest as pure awareness, or rest as open awareness, or rest as awareness, whatever. Then another one is, this is especially good with open eyes, is rest as the underlying field. This, everything that we are seeing around us is arising in a field of emptiness, the Buddhists will say. That field of consciousness, Advaita would say, that field of consciousness where everything else is arising. So you can connect with the field. You can go immediately into the field and say, resting as the field underneath all this. Or you can simplify the pointer, underneath all this. You just tell yourself the words, underneath all this, and you go there. So let's do it. Just look in this direction. Obviously, there is here a building or whatever, and many things, but they are arising in this field, which is consciousness. So just tell yourself the words, underneath all these, and go there. Connect with that field. How do we know that this is working? The body informs you. Your breath becomes deeper. The shoulders tend to relax a little bit. The mind becomes more quiet. The alpha waves increase, the theta waves increase, and the beta waves decrease. So the mind becomes more quiet. So these are the sensorial aspect that is informing us. Yes, I'm making contact with the divine here. So now, once you begin to get the feedback of the body's giving feedback, you say, oh, I'm doing it right. Okay, we'll keep doing it. And then one day this becomes second nature. You can get there in an instant, you can rest as awareness under any circumstance, and you know that in that place there is peace. How deep we go into this field, it depends. If you do it in a formal meditation and you have no distractions and so on, maybe you will go deeper, maybe. But one thing I recommend, to do not obsess with depth, but to focus more into resting there in this awareness more and more, a bigger and a bigger percentage of the day. So instead of focusing into depth, you focus into continuity. So let's say that in the beginning you are able to practice this 1% of the day. 1% of the day you are there. Okay, that's a good start. And then we say, okay, I'm getting there 1% of the day. Now I'm going to start doing a little bit of a walk in the evening that is peaceful and fresh now that fall is coming. And then you go for a walk, and I'm going to rest as awareness, rest as the field underneath all this beauty here that we have in Sedona. And then I'm going to increase this percentage of the time that I am in connection with the divine. So now it jumps from 1% to 5%, and you really made an increase. Now, if you keep doing this, bringing to the different activities of the day, bringing God or the divine into the different activities of the day, you will find that for some of them it's a little bit more difficult than for others, but you can keep increasing this percentage until the time comes that perhaps you are spending 25% of the day in connection with your true nature, with the divine that you are. And at that moment, your life has changed completely. You're living a life that is peaceful. You're living a life that is that perhaps you never dreamt it was possible. So it's a very simple thing to do, but the only challenge is to increase the time that we don't run after the mind. That we let the mind be, but a part of us has retrieved into our true nature. So, because we always have this choice. You can run after thought, especially is the worst enemy, right? You can run after the thoughts and be totally fascinated by your thoughts and the movie here, this virtual reality, or you can rest as consciousness. It's a decision that we have moment to moment during the day. And if there is one free will that really nobody will take away from you, is what do you do moment to moment in regard to getting lost in the mind or getting centered in your true nature? It's the most fundamental decision we face moment to moment during the day. Is what will make the difference between becoming spiritual or becoming, just a worldly person. Because the mind makes us worldly. The mind is all about the world. So the more time we spend in this consciousness, the more spiritual we become. In the mind, we may become intellectuals, we may become, anything that has to do with the mind. But spiritual, if you want to be spiritual, we need to take again control over where we are heading with awareness. Where is attention? Where is attention? Is it lost in mind, or is it resting as the field? We all face that fundamental free will. We all face it. The mind is not our enemy, it's not the bad guy, but it's not necessarily our friend all the time. And we have converted the mind into not only our friend, but actually our slave master. It has taken the best of you, the best of us. We're constantly running towards it. And then, here I have a new thought for you. Right? And many of them are not that great, right? Some of these thoughts can be very negative, and then when we get in troubles. Okay, so that was the subject for today, and now I invite you to ask any questions you want in regard to your spiritual life or in regard to what we just discussed.